I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart.
Daddy?
Yes, Naomi?
What's joy?
Hello there, I'm Aiden, and welcome to A Pastor's Life for Me. Do me a quick favor, make sure you hit that like button and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Joy. Joy to the world. Joyful, joyful, we adore him. I've got the joy. So what is it? Long ago, in a faraway land, in a faraway ancient time, during the days of high school, Aiden, I sought out on an endeavor to answer the question, what is joy? And you want to know what my conclusion was? Joy is undefinable. I guess that's all for today. Bye! But why don't I tell you a little bit more about it? C.S. Lewis once wrote a book called Surprised by Joy. It's a good book, it's a good read, I'd recommend that you check it out. But the premise that I want to focus on is the title of this book, Surprised by Joy. And the connotations behind that is, there's probably something more to joy than just this surface level which most of North America thinks about. Because in our culture, joy is basically extreme happiness. I looked it up in the dictionary and it said something like an extreme desire that brings happiness. And so the whole premise behind the title of the book is that C.S. Lewis, when he came to faith, he was surprised by joy because there's something more to it than just happiness. Now, like I said, the common way that we describe joy is as happiness. And yes, happiness is somewhat a part of joy. But joy is far different and it is far greater. When somebody's going through a hard time, like the worst time in their life, they can still possess joy. But you don't really exactly see them as happy there, do you? Are they happy in their misery? It's not the right term that we would use. We would use joy. So what is joy? Joy is a form of extreme happiness, but this is not based off of the whims of life, but rather satisfaction in God. Therefore, joy is a form of contentment within trials and pains and every area of life. Joy is a form of peace we receive from God despite our situations. And for these reasons, joy isn't just a feeling, it is also an action. It is not a fake mask of happiness, but an inner feeling and an inner choice that we make to remain content in the Lord and trust Him in every area of life. That is why one can have joy through pain. We're not happy about the pain that happens to us, and we can often become depressed in it. But joy is understanding that God is good and that He is in control of everything. Because of this, we can count it all joy, as James says. Joy is also something that we can't completely define in this life. And though joy doesn't depend on the whims of life, there will still be times where we feel more joy and less joy because we live in a sinful world. But after this life, our joy will be made complete and we will never lose it and it will never decrease. So that's joy. And to break it down in a simpler 10-second definition, let's say, we could define it as a mixture between satisfaction, being content, happiness, love, and peace. And of course, these words in their biblical definition and not their modern definition. So we can't have perfect joy in this life, but we still do have joy. So in one sense, we can define joy, but in another sense, we can't define joy. We only have a glimpse of it, and joy isn't a feeling, but it is an action which will often bring us a feeling similar to love. And so that's as deep as we're gonna go into the topic of joy this morning, but I thought, this video would be pretty good to make considering that on our Sunday stream, we're going through the book of Philippians, and one of the major themes of the book of Philippians is joy. And so subscribe to the channel, turn on that notification bell, and come out on Sunday morning at 10:30 Mountain Standard Time to join us as we continue going through the book of Philippians in a Sunday stream due to COVID-19. But until then, remember to know the word, do the word, and share the word, but as always, we do it in love.